Hi, this is IELTS.com, lesson 152. This week we are looking at a Part 2 cue card on the topic of professions that are done in or near water. So this could be jobs like fishermen, marine biologists, or even boat-based jobs like tour guides or ship captains. I'll read the cue card to you now. Describe a profession you know that is done near or in water. You should say what the profession is. Where is it typically done? Why is it important? And say what skills or qualifications are required to do this job. All right, let's start this week's lesson by listening to the Band 9 speaking model. Here it is.
Now I would like to ask you to respond to the prompt on this cue card. Start speaking now, please.
The profession I want to talk about is that of a marine biologist. Marine biologists are scientists who study life in the oceans and other saltwater environments. They conduct research to understand marine organisms, their behaviors, habitats, and ecosystems. Marine biologists typically work in or near water bodies, such as oceans, seas, and coral reefs. Some may work in laboratories analyzing samples collected from the field, while others spend a considerable amount of time diving underwater to observe marine life firsthand. They may also work on research vessels, coastal facilities, or even aquariums and marine parks. The profession is crucial for several reasons. Firstly, marine biologists play a vital role in understanding and conserving marine biodiversity. By studying marine ecosystems, they can identify threats to various species, as well as develop strategies for their protection. Additionally, their research contributes to our understanding of climate change, which is a significant issue facing our planet today. To become a marine biologist, one typically needs a strong educational background in biology. I am not a marine biologist, but I would assume this profession requires obtaining a bachelor's degree, followed by further studies at the graduate level. Practical experience through internships or volunteer work is probably highly valued in this field too. Other skills key to becoming a marine biologist would include having excellent observation skills, critical thinking, and a passion for the life forms that live in salt water. I feel marine biologists contribute significantly to our understanding of the oceans, and they play a crucial role in conserving these precious ecosystems for future generations.
Thank you.
So in the response, you heard the speaker go systematically through the different prompts on the cue card. They first defined the marine biologist profession, and then described where it is done, why it is important, and finally, what skills and qualifications are needed for the job. They finished their response by stating what they feel the future significance of this profession will be. The strategy of connecting the topic to the future in some way might be something you want to note in your journal this week, as it can provide a nice, well-rounded finish to your speaking topic in Part 2. All right, let's get to this week's speech shadowing exercise. This week, you are repeating the first few sentences from the model. And for WhatsApp group subscribers, please note that this is also the first speaking sample you will be submitting this week. I'll read this section of the response again to you now, just to refresh your memory. So the candidate starts their response by saying, "The profession I want to talk about is that of a marine biologist." Marine biologists are scientists who study life in the oceans and other saltwater environments. They conduct research to understand marine organisms, their behavior, habitats, and ecosystems. Okay, let's go ahead and start the speech shadowing exercise. If this is your first time doing a speech shadowing exercise, remember you should be speaking aloud as you listen. So you will first hear a portion of the sample, and then you will be given a pause within which to repeat what you have heard. And the point of the exercise is to try to adjust your pronunciation to sound as much like the model as possible. Remember that at IELTS.com, just $25 per month gives you access to the full shadowing lessons, and $199 per month gives you access to the full lessons plus a private WhatsApp group. where you will submit one speaking sample each day from Monday to Friday and receive feedback on it from a qualified instructor. All right, here is this week's speech shadowing exercise. Enjoy.
Now I would like to ask you to respond to the prompt on this cue card. Start speaking now, please.
The profession I want to talk about is that of a marine biologist. Is that of a marine biologist. Marine biologist. Marine biologist. Is that of a marine biologist. The profession I want to talk about The profession I want to talk about The profession I want to talk about is that of a marine biologist. The profession I want to talk about is that of a marine biologist. Marine biologists are scientists who study life in the oceans and other saltwater environments. And other saltwater environments. And other saltwater environments. Who study life in the oceans and other saltwater environments. Who study life in the oceans. Who study life in the oceans. Who study life in the oceans and other saltwater environments. Marine biologists are scientists are scientists Marine biologists are scientists. Marine biologists are scientists who study life in the oceans and other saltwater environments. Marine biologists are scientists who study life in the oceans and other saltwater environments. They conduct research to understand marine organisms, their behaviors, habitats, and ecosystems. Their behaviors, habitats, and ecosystems. Habitats and ecosystems. Habitats and ecosystems. Their behaviors, habitats, and ecosystems. They conduct research to understand marine organisms. To understand marine organisms. Marine organisms. Marine organisms. To understand marine organisms. They conduct research to understand marine organisms. They conduct research. They conduct research. They conduct research to understand marine organisms. They conduct research to understand marine organisms, their behaviors, habitats, and ecosystems. If you have found these exercises helpful and would like more training, go to IELTS.com, where you can find over 100 lessons to learn from. Thank you for leaving a 5-star review at iTunes, and be sure to sign up for my free newsletter at IELTS.com. Thank you for tuning in this week, and join me again next week for another speech shadowing exercise.